So on May 9th, 2023, a federal jury found Donald Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming author and journalist E. Jean Carroll. The federal jury awarded E. Jean Carroll $5 million in damages, and more recently, on July 9, 2026, the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that Donald Trump can no longer delay paying E. Jean Carroll the $5 million any longer. To give some context, the federal jury found that E. Jean Carroll had proven by a preponderance of the evidence that in 1996, in a New York City department store, Donald Trump forcibly pinned her against a wall in a dressing room and sexually assaulted her. And the only thing that stopped E. Jean Carroll from criminally charging Donald Trump with sexual assault was the statute of limitations for the state of New York, because the incident did take place in 1996. A person being found liable in a court of law, whether criminally or civilly, for sexual assault is not a small thing. As new rulings have been entered into this case in June and July of this year, we're talking about a sitting president that has been found liable of sexual assault, despite his appeals and attempts to get this judgment overturned. This ruling is still legally significant because it represents a final judicial determination of civil liability for serious misconduct by a sitting U.S. president. Although the underlying events and initial verdict predated the election, the judgment remains relevant to the constitutional principles of accountability, the rule of law, and public confidence in government institutions, as well as the standard of conduct expected of the nation's chief executive. This shouldn't just be another news story, and paying the $5 million should not be the only accountability for sexual assault when the person being found liable is a sitting U.S. president. The way that Donald Trump in 2026 is still going on and on about the 2020 elections and will not let that go. Regardless of what side of the aisle that you're on, elected lawmakers need to press this E. Jean Carroll situation and not let this sexual assault issue just fade into the background, because this is actionable, at the very least impeachment. And in any other era before Donald Trump, elected people on both sides would publicly be asking the president to voluntarily resign for something like this.